Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. In Australia it is the 11th of November 2019, and as we know, 1111 is the opening up of a gateway. In other countries you're coming into this. So I wanted to look at the 1111 gateway. I also wanted to look at the current quite extraordinary astrological conditions. I have been reading and watching various astrologers who are telling the same message, and that is this is a very rare astrological, I guess, pattern that we're moving into that will persist through November, December, and January. The 1111 gateway, if you're a student of numerology, you will know just how important those numbers are. They are master numbers, and the 1111 gateway is signaling the opening of a portal to the higher realms, and so it offers the opportunity for some to ascend and to ascend. They may have been doing the climbing, but they are now at a stage where they can receive information that will promote enlightenment. Now, that portal opens on 11th of November 2019 and closes on January the 11th, 2020. So these next few months are very, very important, I think, not just for us individually, but for planetary enlightenment generally. And so when I opened up for this reading, I got the images of more light coming in. What does light do? It enables us to see more clearly. And so we couple that with another fairly rare astrological occurrence, and that is Mercury, the planet Mercury, which is the planet of communication, crossing the Sun on the 11th of November, and then moving into a full moon in Taurus. So I feel that at a practical level, some of these patterns will impact us in our closest relationships, but in another way, we're going to be able to see more clearly. And why are we going to be able to see and think more clearly, to understand more, to the messages and the communications are getting stronger. So anything that has been hidden in the past is actually going to be pushed forward to us to see very clearly, a lot more strongly than it has been. It's been partially veiled, partially hidden. And so the other image that I'm getting is this orb of light, this dark orb of light now moving into a translucent, so more light is coming in. Now, I'm not one that ascribes to the thought that the darkness is necessarily bleak and negative. I ascribe to the belief, or to the faith, that the darkness holds within it potential for the future. And so when I see this orb, this dark orb turning into, or metamorphosizing into, a light, a glowing orb, I see that there is the opportunity for ascension for some of us who are ready. And so those that are attuned, and it's almost like a beacon rising from the sea and conducting or sending out a frequency, some will be able to now tune into that frequency. So they are the metaphysical, the astrological, the esoteric, the spiritual messages behind this 1111 gateway, this portal to ascension. But in another sense, it is all about us being able to see more clearly in the light. That orb morphing into the light is something that we've created. It is something that we have driven forward. And so all the work that we've had, that we've put into this year, whether it's through the collective on the global stage, tackling these really tough political times, bringing more light into the dark, exposing those things that people would desire to keep hidden, to block our potential. exposing that and bringing things to the light, all of that work is now culminating over the next couple of months as I see it, which will enable us to see very, very clearly because we're now operating with more light. So attuning to that higher frequency as well. This isn't the same of just something being revealed, of sitting in on a court case and hearing evidence and going, that's why that happened. This is actually understanding something at a very, very, very deep level. So we are actually becoming more conscious, in other words, when we understand, when we process that information, when we get it at the practical level, but we also get it, our higher selves starts to be activated, starts to switch on and understand why something is happening and why we've got the power to do something about it. Then that is transmuting our knowledge into this wonderful awareness that is all-encompassing. So this is the potential of this time, I feel. So I'm going to ask some questions of the tarot. I'm using my Tarot of the Dreams by Cairo Marchetti, simply because it has some beautiful illustrations, but it also has an astrological aspect of it as well. And I will be clarifying with my Tarot of the Wild Unknown. Beautiful Ace of Swords, new starts based on truth. And those lightning bolts are very, very powerful. And I will, if needed, look at some Wisdom of the Oracle cards as well. But first, let's start with the questions around the 1111 gateway. Very important number. I have been seeing for the last 3 to 4, maybe 5 months. It's very difficult to put a time on it because in some ways things are timeless. But I have been seeing that number 111111 on my wherever I go. I see it, whether it's via the clock or the number of emails I've yet to read. It always comes back to 111, and I know that these are messages. When you're seeing those those numbers, these are messages for you. These are personal messages to understand that you are being given information for your higher good. You are receiving. You are getting a download. So the gateway opens today, 11/11, and closes on the 11th of January. Mercury transiting or crossing the sun, Mercury, the planet of communication, could mean that we have an awareness, we have some information coming forward, and we have an awareness of that information. It may have been lost on us a year ago, but it won't be lost on us now. So how will the 11/11 gateway impact us, Spirit? If we could have some messages through these cards. How will the 11/11 gateway impact us? How will the 11/11 gateway impact us? So I feel that we are being given more light, but we're also being given more power as well. So this is individual power to step forward. Some of this is being represented in political systems where lawmakers are actually standing up to be counted. But this is at a personal level. We actually will, because we're operating with more light, we will have the confidence and courage to move forward. How will the 11/11 gateway, the portal to our higher, to access our higher thinking, our higher selves, enlightenment, bringing more light in. How will this gateway impact on us? How will this gateway impact on us? Yeah. So it's almost like each of us have that sword now, or we have the potential to have that sword, because that's what I'm seeing. Oh my goodness me! Thank you, Spirit. This is the Ace of Swords in the different decks. It is the same card. And if you look at that, we have not only help from the higher realms, but we've also got this light coming in, which will guide us. And this is our thinking. And when I talked about, I'm just going to stop here for a minute because I feel that that is a direct validation. We've got 2 Aces of Swords. This is what I saw in my in my clairvoyance when I open this up. This sword is glowing for us. It is glowing with the light, and the light carries a power, it's a very powerful image to me, because it means swords are air signs, all around thinking. It means that our thoughts are going to be strong, and why are they going to be strong? It's because we are able to see things a little bit more clearly. It's an acknowledgement of the truth that actually will power up our words. Um, and really, the challenge to this, if there is a challenge to the 1111 gateway, is to have faith. I'll bring the laptop down so you can see these cards more easily. To have faith. This again is coming forward with the Taurian full moon. So I have here the gateway, the 1111 gateway. Of course, the ace is number 1. I've got this gateway being represented here, and we've got the full moon having faith. And so the full moon in Taurus, we've also got this Mercury crossing the sun, the path of the sun, or Mercury transiting the sun. So we've got really, really strong cards coming forward in alignment with the astrological patterns that we find ourselves in the 1111 gateway. What is its potential? Have faith in the truth. Have faith in what you're seeing and thinking and understanding. The Page of Swords, again, this is all around the truth with this gateway. We have this is air signs. This is this Gemini, Libra, Aquarian energy, and of course we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and this gateway 1111 is very instrumental as we move toward the age of Aquarius here, where we're actually going to be understanding much more than we have in the past. In some way, we've had these gradual shifts through mainly adversity and having to confront the truth. We're actually moving to, when we've learnt the lesson, what happens? We not only become more resilient, but we become more aware. And in some way, our spiritual chakras are also opening up at this time. I'm feeling our solar plexus chakra associated with the sun, the color yellow, the light coming in, opening up, associated with awareness and knowledge. Are going hand in hand here. Having faith is very, very important. Having the confidence to step forward. We're moving from this, as I said, this self-defensive mode, this Leo kind of energy here, where we, even though we had to defend ourselves, we were doing so with the truth. And this is in the past position in this particular spread that I'm bringing forward. This is the conditions we've found ourselves in most of the year as we've moved toward this 1111 gateway and the current astrological conditions. The Knight of Coins. This is taking action in the material world. So this higher enlightenment that is on offer for us, we can actually transcend that. We can actually bring that forward into our daily living, and it's actually going to make us it's going to allow us the confidence and courage to come forward, because this knight is somebody that goes where no one else will. This is a very courageous knight. So I feel that we're going to be speaking up more. We're moving into an age where we will, or a time where we will think nothing about protesting. We've been in this self-defensive mode. Now we're moving forward with this sword of truth. We've got the bipartisanship. We've got this, again, Leo energy, the sun energy, bringing more light in, lighting our way, understanding why we are fighting and having to defend ourselves. this Five of Wands. For some, this could be familial relationships as well at the very practical level. We're learning from those relationships, whether that be, again, in our family, our community, or even in our political life. We're learning about why we fight this way, why we have this division, and we're moving into a stronger position because of this awareness of the truth that we're now having. We've got the moon here, the full moon in Taurus. Now, again, these astrological conditions are actually quite important to us. And this is a Piscean energy as much as anything else. This is, an emotional time. It could be an emotional time for us with this full moon in Taurus, and around our most closest relationships. And if we find ourselves getting angry, if we find ourselves during these varying patterns, which are actually all operating in sync for our own benefit and for the benefit of the collective, take some time out. Through this division, we get to the truth. Through these tug of wars, these in some way, these political fights, we get to the truth. We are unearthing the truth. That orb that I saw on the end of a staff, it pretty much is almost like what you see there. This was the image that I got. It's turning from, it's metamorphosizing from the dark to the light. This is the potential of what is hidden now coming to the surface. And I really like that this deck depicts the wolves, because the wolf and I think it is two wolves. They are protective forces. And so with this card, we have the night bats. We also have the phases of the moon, but we also have protection as the light permeates. And I feel that this is the potential of the 1111 gateway. How will it impact on us? Unfortunately, as I said, we've had to go through this. Has been quite difficult for some. With this division, these fights, getting into arguments with our closest relationships, the tension that we see, globally as well, the unearthing of what is hidden, bringing it toward the surface, has really brought on a tower moment. And this tower moment, in some ways can be seen as a negative card, but it's also allowing us to break down what is no longer, I feel, what has been built up over time, these structures that have been hiding, burying things. We've got the light coming through, and the energy of our thoughts, because that's what's breaking down the tower at this time. It's the energy of our thoughts. It's the truth. It's the light that we're bringing in, this consciousness that is breaking down these structures, and they are tumbling. Believe it, they are tumbling. Let's have a look at the hopes and fears. Darkness into darkness, the key to all mystery. This is again associated with the moon, and look at these orbs. I'm glad I chose this particular pack. Look at these orbs here. We've got the colours purple, and it looks like blue and indigo. So this is psychic awareness. So pay attention at this time to your dreams, because there are messages actually occurring, and they're going in straight to your subconscious. So pay attention to them. It's almost like the divine, the spiritual, your higher self is trying to communicate with you. This is a download of light, and it is a download of knowledge. Darkness into darkness, the key to all mystery, the potential of the dark, and the enlightenment that comes with that. Yeah, the Palace of Wands. We're moving into, as I said, this age of Aquarius, but it is an age of inspiration as well. This is a fire energy, the Palace of Wands. This is a house that has the courage to step forward because of the inspiration and motivation and passion that drives forward actions. This is this fire energy, this sun energy, this solar plexus awareness that we are actually getting, and we're moving from the page. This is the ascension process. We are moving from the page through to the king, and we're doing it with inspiration. We're finding our passions, we're finding the passion of the truth. In some way we're getting behind the light, getting behind the truth, and we're moving things forward. So this is a time over the next, while the portal is open from now until January the 11th, a time of progress. And the Knight of Swords, taking action on the truth. So we've moved from the page. We have the Knight and we have the King. The King deploys the Knight. So this is an active time over the next 2 to 3 months. It's a time when a lot of information. I've got all these air signs. I've got all this air energy, this mental thought. Combining with this sun type energy. I have 2 knights in this reading. This isn't just a time where we will gather awareness and become enlightened beings. We're going one step further. We'll be taking action over the next 3 months. We have the star of hope, and we have a rebalancing occurring. This is the age of Aquarius that we are moving into. This is a 10, a 5, and a 2. A 10 is a completion cycle. A 5 is change and exploration. And a 2 is collaborating with one another. This is the age of Aquarius here that we are moving into. And this is also with this 7 of Swords. So I've got also the repeating of number 7. This is the lesson. And again, this is another Aquarian related card, but it's a moon. It's also associated with the moon. This is around the secrets that are being revealed to us. And allowing us to see more clearly, to have that awareness. And we have also got not just the Palace of Inspiration, but we've also got the Palace of Swords. So this is awareness again that will come through our thinking, being able to see more clearly, and in some way going back to the past. We're coming out of the sun in the Scorpio, or the new moon in Scorpio. We're coming out of that now. This is a death and a rebirth. With this 6 of Cups, it's a reunion with ourselves. We're coming back to ourselves. So this has been extremely an important time. Now, I'm going to ask, what is the message of the higher realms to us at this time? Before I close down this reading, what is the message of the higher realms to us at this time? Let me just order my deck and make sure we're not going to be drawing any of the same cards. What is the message of the higher realms to us at this time and during this very, very important gateway that has opened on the 11th of the 11th and closes on January the 11th? What are the messages from the higher realms? What are the messages from the higher realms? Let's have a look. We may draw 3 cards from different decks. What are the messages from the higher realms as we move into this 11-11 gateway, as the Mercury, the planet of communication, which is also retrograde, passes through the sun, crosses the sun, and as we move into this full moon in Taurus, again, communication, enlightenment, and learning the lessons of the past, understanding what the sum of what creates the whole. Okay, what are the messages? Messages from 3 messages from Spirit at this time. 3 messages from the higher realms, the angelic realms, the higher realms. What are the messages for us at this time during the 1111 gateway? 3 messages from the higher realms. 3 messages. Okay, the door is opening. What I'm seeing is I'm seeing a door, a portal opening. Okay, we've got the 8 of Swords. This is the card of restriction. Breaking out of our restrictions, the restrictions that we put on ourselves, reunions with our past, death, rebirth, transformation. And we have the 6 of Coins. Remember to pass it on at the very practical level, giving and receiving support. Creating something through supporting others, not bringing others down. And we had to go through this in order to reach that stage, the ending of one cycle and the opening up of something else. And of course, we've got the Empress card. I know I said 3 cards, but sometimes I feel inclined to take more. The Empress card, we're moving into a stage, a more fertile stage, where things grow, where things aren't cut down, knocked down, but where things grow. So this death and rebirth is very important for us at this time. Let's have a look at another deck. Let's have a look at what will be the conditions that will come forward during this gateway for us, particularly at a global political level that will benefit all of us. What are the conditions? What are we likely to see come forward over the next few months for the collective, for the benefit of the collective? What is likely to come forward over the next few months for the benefit of the collective, particularly as it relates to our political struggles at the moment? What is likely to come forward over the next 3 months, particularly as it relates to our global political struggles? Right. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. Yes, there is a mountain to climb, but we'll do it. We'll do it. I'm getting a pull to that 6 of Pentacles as well. There is more likely to be people coming together in order to ascend that mountain rather than not. And this is also creative solutions to problems. That's a lovely card to come forward at this time. So you will see, and this is also reflected in some of the polls that I look at, you've got more likely to have coalitions and people coming together, perhaps that haven't in the past, in order to climb that mountain, reach the top of that mountain. We've got again a number 6, 3, sorry, a 3 and a 6 in the Lover's card. It is coming together to heal, I do believe. And we've got a number 13, another 3, the ending of something. So what will matter to us in the current political conditions is how we come together in order to end a cycle and start anew. Now I have 3, 6 and 3. So they are, again, very special numbers: creativity, healing. And we've got the 4 of Swords, again, to push back what I guess aimed to be hidden, to push that back in order to bring the light in. And there is a sacrifice here with this 4 of Swords. There is a sacrifice to be made for this new start, an Ace of Cups. Very important energies coming forward. So let's have a look at one final pack of cards. the oracle cards, just a general, as we move through this challenging time, because you've got the Tower showing up there. And I do feel that it is a challenging time personally and collectively for us. But, you know, we've got ways that we can take advantage of the 1111 gateway, and we are aware of the current astrological conditions. We understand that we've got to come together to solve the problems, and we come together with a greater awareness as a result of what we have learnt over the last little while. We are moving into an age or a time that is going to be far more abundant, far more creative, far more life affirming than where we've come from. And we are having to do this. We are having to do this because of the damage and destruction that has occurred. So, final 3 messages from Spirit, from the higher realms for those that are listening to this reading, for those that are understanding the conditions of the time. 3 messages from Spirit. Okay. Now I'll just bring the laptop up and I'll do this last phase for you. Orphaned, the number 5. This, you know, we can often feel alone. We can often feel alone when great change is taking place. You know, as a child, when we embraced new things, we had our mother or our father or our elder sister, for example. We had those people in our lives to guide us and to pat our hands and say everything is going to be okay. But the number 5 is the card of change, of the change of the individual. And this is occurring quite rapidly at the moment, and some of you may be feeling not anchored. And this card is coming forward to tell you that you are always protected, divinely protected. You could be asking why, and you want to learn, and there is a message here to learn about what is happening, to really consult your higher self in the ways that you can, whether this is reading, whether this is study, whether this is thinking about the lessons, the why. Why has this come forward? This is a number 31, breaking down to a 4. The knowledge and awareness that you are receiving at the moment through the opening of this portal will help you also to understand why. One last card. This is a 9, and this is time to go through. You can see that portal there in the distance. 9 is a conclusion of a cycle. This time to go is telling you that it is time to close down these old and destructive patterns and move through that doorway, because we are, this isn't just, a group of esoteric light workers telling you there's a gateway there. We are actually evidencing the learning on the ground through the change in our political structures, through what we've seen occur globally across the last couple of years. This isn't a time for, for turning off. This is a time for walking toward and moving through that door. We don't have much choice, basically. That's what these cards are saying. We have to shut down those old cycles, those old ways of doing things, and walk through that door and embrace the new. So this is the potential of the 1111 gateway and the current astrological patterns. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Change is never easy. And so over the next few months, we're going to see some conditions. I'm just looking at the clock. It's 33. Okay, I'm going to finish it on 33 because that's a special number to me. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. All the best.